Right. So good morning, good afternoon, whatever time zone you're in. I'm Meghan SmithBrooks, and I am the guest presenter today for Self-Love Revolution, filling in for Mia Sains. And I'm really grateful for all of you that chose to share this time with me. I understand some of you are at work, and so you aren't able to show yourself, and I understand that, and I just appreciate that you're joining us and being part of this experience. I know some of you probably have been on when I've been a guest presenter in the past. Hold on, I just need to check this. Why is that not changing? Anyway, there you go. And some of it may be a bit of a repeat, but you know, when we're talking about grief, and that's what I do. I'm an ordained Unity minister, a certified grief coach, author of Unraveling Grief, Mother's Spiritual Journey of Healing and Discovery. It's available on Amazon. And as a speaker, and I lead retreat healing, and I think it was in March, I had my retreat partner, Terry Wilder, join me. And that was who you heard, those of you that came in early and heard that recording. That was Terry Wilder singing her beautiful song, I Allow, which I thought would be the perfect segue into opening our hearts and our minds and our entire being into allowing this experience and any experience that we have in our life to be open and receptive to knowing that I allow, I accept, I receive all that it is, all that it offers me, the fullness of life. And I believe that I have all that I need right now, no matter how challenging it may feel, it may appear, it may be in the difficulty of our moments. And so today I wanted to focus on how we can transform the pain of grief, of the pain of loss of life, and the situations, even beyond just the death of a loved one, which is the most painful and the most heart-wrenching experience that any of us could experience. But, you know, change can come from the change of a sudden, unexpected change of a job, a loss of a home, a pet, even just the breaking of something that's beloved to you. It causes us trauma. And it's difficult for us to let go of the physical form of what it is that we're attached to and wanting to hold on to that we can't see it in the present. The reason that I focus on grief is that I realized in my own grief journey that our society does not support us all that well with pain of loss. That we're not prepared and how to support each other, how to manage it ourselves, the tools that will help us get through this very huge part of our human experience of life. And so I know I've mentioned this before, and you've probably heard it from others. And the reality is that if we're human, if we're breathing, if we are participating in this life experience, we don't escape it by not having loss of some form. And so what I've come to understand is that we must embrace it, that we must allow it to be our teacher, to offer us something of value that we can learn about ourselves to enhance who we are, that deepens who we are, that we can then become more of our fullness, our wholeness of our spiritual experience, and offer a greater value to the humanity of life as well. This week for me has been a very emotionally tumultuous time. Sunday was May 30th, and that was the 8th anniversary of the death of my son, Justin, who was murdered at the age of 29. And that became my most intense experience of grief, which is what led me to writing my book so that I could offer ways of supporting people. I lost my father in 2007. That was very painful. I lost both my grandmothers before that, my grandfather when I was 7, when I didn't even understand what that was. And I am the oldest of 5 girls in my family, and my middle sister, Cameron, chose to take her life on November 22nd last year. And today is the anniversary of what have been her 60th birthday. So I'm very much in the awareness of what many of you may be feeling is the loss of the preciousness of a life that you love, the value of their presence in your life, and the journey that we're on to know that is a change in our relationship with them, that their soul is still connected deeply within us. And so I'm really feeling the soul presence of my son Justin and my sister Cameron today. Really honoring the value of their presence and what they brought into my life, what I learned from them, and how I can honor myself in the feeling of fragileness, of the deep heart feelings of loss and missing their face and their smile and not being able to hear their voice today. So I know that I'm reaching out and touching those of you as well in that still very tender place in your hearts of the emotional loss of loved ones. And to help you to understand that loss is something that we never get over. We learn to live with, we learn to manage, and we learn to honor that place in our hearts that will always be with the love of those that we mourn. And that's the blessing in it, that there's a place in our heart that they always will fill, that we are not the same because they existed in our experience. And so we want to honor that. We also want to acknowledge the pain. And so today, I want to lead you through a very powerful process that can be challenging of how we must feel to heal. We cannot get through the pain of life, of loss, of grief, unless we have the courage, and it takes tremendous courage, to feel deeply all that it is, all that it offers us, all that we may be trying to avoid, right? All that we may be, because it just feels like it's too overwhelming. You know, I relate it to like a tsunami of emotional tumult that just slams into us, and initially feeling like I'm not even in my body. And sometimes I still feel that way. I think I might be feeling a little bit that way this week as I'm really sitting with my own feelings of grief from the loss of those that are really precious in my heart. And so I just want you to know that I'm here for you. I'm one with you, that you're not alone in this journey. And I'm inviting you to have the courage to journey with me into this transformational process. It's a guided meditation. I will be playing some soft meditative music in the background, so you may need to adjust that. I'm never quite sure with the balance of where you are and where I am, how that experience is. So I'm going to do my best to make sure, one, that you hear me and that supports you, because music is a vibration. Our voice is a vibration. And it aligns with the vibration of who we are. And that helps us to align with healing, which is really about bringing us back to the vibration of wholeness. That's all that healing is bringing us back into the balance of our divine wholeness. That we have somehow got off track, that there's something that is taken us off kilter. And so we're struggling with that, thinking that I need to push away the painful part, because then that will make me feel better and then I'll be in balance. That's just not it at all. We have to embrace it, to feel it, honor it for what it is, and then be able to have a tool to shift our focus to the blessings that it offers us. And that will get us back on the track of feeling the essence of healing, so that we can move forward in life and find ways to thrive, because we are meant to thrive. Our loved ones would not want us to stop living through our pain if we asked ourselves honestly, right? So in order to honor those that we mourn, honor the pain and loss of life, to honor the grief that we're feeling, we have the courage to go through this process and to be open and receptive to what it offers us as a friend, so to speak, that's taking our hand and saying, I know this is hard. I know that your human side would rather not have to experience this. And there's a part of us that's grasping for what was. And yet we have to come to acceptance and realize that what was will never be in that form again. And that the transformation is allowing it to come back into the new form and the new relationship that is being offered to us. That there's still a relationship that we have with that soul whose presence mattered to us, whose presence made a difference to us. So I'm going to invite you to put aside anything that might be a distraction. If you can easily grab a paper and pen, because as a result of this, there may be some things you want to capture and write down. You also may want to have some tissue handy, because one of the things that I'm going to invite you into feeling deeply is to let all the emotions to come up, to let the tears flow, that they're part of the healing experience, to not resist the tears. They're cleansing. And then if we can let those tears just flow uninhibited, they will allow us to process the transformation of pain and realize the blessings that are offered through it. Because if we hold it in, it's just going to come out sometime and sabotage us in ways or blindside us when we're not expecting it. And so what we're doing is allowing the energy that's built up from the pain that we may have been trying to hold back, to be brave, to put up a good front, to not unintentionally make others uncomfortable, but realize that their discomfort is simply their unresolved grief that they're holding on to, that your grief reminds them of. And if you are brave enough to process it, perhaps it will be a gift to them, that you could be somehow a support to them to help process their own grief. We need to support each other in this, to allow our feelings to be present, because they're not the enemy. They're part of who we are. And if we can sit with them, we can really get a sense of what they have to offer us. There are gifts within our pain. And so this is going to be about a 25-minute or so process. So just know, I know it's more challenging for those that you are at work. If there's any way that you can just close your eyes and feel this experience, I am offering any of you that reach out to me at my email, unravelinggrief@gmail.com. At the end of this, I will send you the recording and the transcript. So you can do this again later, or you could do it at home when you have sacred time alone. So I want to make sure that you have this as a tool. It is a recording that is also linked in my book, because I want people to have something that's useful, that supports you in this journey. So before I begin, does anybody have any questions or comments? You can put it in the chat too, if it's not where you can speak into the microphone, but I just want to make sure that we're connected. And if there's anything that you want to share, that it's not suppressed.
And
So what? Yeah.
I just wanted to ask, what does embrace it mean to you? I've always had difficulty with it.
Nicole, you might want to mute yourself. There you go. Well, I think it's being open and receptive to allowing it to come into our experience.
Okay.
Because otherwise we're suppressing it, and we're trying to hold it back to put up a brave front, or because of fear, the anxiety of feeling the intensity of pain, because our human side wants to avoid that, right? And so what I'm saying is, here I am, I'm open to receiving it all.
Okay.
Embrace it, to feel it deeply, with, it's like as deep as I possibly can, because as deep as you can go, it will offer you the greatest ability to heal and transform, and ultimately discover a new relationship with yourself. Because what we're coming to terms with is that I have changed as a result of this pain of loss. I can't be the same person that I was before. So I'm also embracing who I am becoming. I'm receptive to discovering something new about myself. And that takes courage.
Yeah.
So I hope that you all are willing to have the courage to move through this. And it's my honor to support you in this today. So we're going to begin, and you just want to make sure that you're as comfortable as possible. Whenever we're doing some kind of a meditative process, it's best if you could be sitting where you can feel a chair or something supporting you so that your back is straight, you're not hunching over, and that your feet are firmly on the ground. Now, if you prefer to lay down, that's okay. I just want to encourage you to not fall asleep, because then you won't even, like subliminally going in there, you want to be aware of what's happening. So if it works for you to lay down, to be comfortable, to be open and receptive, no, that's okay. And your hand is raised. Go ahead and unmute yourself.
I just want to quickly say before you start the meditation that I got a notification from my rabbi that the anniversary of the yahrzeit of my mother's death is coming up. And that really triggered me this morning. I'm dealing with that. And also the anniversary of my brother's death was in July. He passed away when I was a baby, when I was 5 months old.
Oh.
And I get really triggered about anything that reminds me of what he died from. He died from a brain tumor. And recently, someone who was an acquaintance asked me just this, couple days ago, if I wanted to take on a freelance project for a special education project. And her friend, who's a teacher in special ed, was obsessed with zombies and wanted me to do 3 illustrations of brains. I just felt completely like I wanted to vomit. I felt sick to my stomach because it reminded me of my dead brother.
Right.
So like I'm really triggered by this kind of stuff. And I want to deal with it. I don't know how to deal with it.
Well, you want to be honest to yourself, to acknowledge that. And, when somebody, asks you something like that, is to have the courage to say, I'm not comfortable with that. I've had a personal experience that triggers something, and I couldn't be fully present to honor you in that process, unless you feel there could be some healing for you and having the courage to do that. But it's most important that you honor yourself, what feels that I am able to accept and participate in fully in a way that would empower me rather than distract me or pull me down. Because that's how we make decisions in life. Is this something that will honor me, support me, empower me, offer me some way of becoming more than what I have been? It may challenge me, which that's okay. But if it feels like I'm going to restrict myself and I'm going to somehow feel small in this, or it's going to be diminishing me, or destroying a part of me in a way that doesn't enhance me, then it's clear that it's not something I participate in. And I think that, when we're honoring pain and grief, that's something we're learning about. So I honor you in that. I don't know if you were there in the beginning where I said, I'm very raw in my feelings this week too, is the anniversary of death and my sister's birthday today. And so in this exercise, I'm going to invite you to bring into your experience the loss that you feel the most tender around, the one that you perhaps are most triggered by, the one that you have the deepest feelings around in this particular healing process. I know you can do that then with anyone. And if you feel like simultaneously there's more than one in the process, that's okay too. I don't want you to overthink anything. It's important to go with the feeling and just what comes up. Okay.
Those 2 are the ones that I have not completely healed from.
Okay.
My mother and my brother.
All right. So there's the feelings and their presence that we're going to knowledge. So I want to let you all know that in this is a very personal experience, and it's private in our healing. So you may want to turn your video off.
I will.
That also make sure you're muted.
Yes.
Okay, so we're going to begin.
Thank you.
And again, I honor each of you and your courage to be present today. I'm going to start this. So as we begin, in your comfortable place, with all distractions removed, any electronics other than the device you're listening turned off, I invite you to close your eyes and to take a few deep breaths to feel the energy of life that is moving through you in this moment. To feel your breath as a reminder that you are divine by nature, and that this vibration that's breathing through you is what animates you, which brings you this experience we have together. So breathing in deeply, feel it, and then exhaling fully. Just focusing on your breath to begin to give your mind something to be your distraction. And as we're moving through this process, if anything distracts you from the moment, just bring yourself back to your breath and then listen to what you're being invited into. So I invite you now to focus on your source of pain, to bring it up into your heart, to see it in your mind. What is the source of your pain and your grief that you are most vulnerable and most fragile around right now, today, in this moment? If there's an image that comes with it, go deep into everything that it brings up. Just see it, feel it, be with it. And with every breath, allow yourself to go deeper and deeper into the feeling, the rawness of your pain, the emotions that are brought to the surface, to let the tears flow, the healing, cleansing tears just flow. And to go as deep into this pain as you possibly can. With every breath, go a little deeper into the intensity that you have pushed away. To keep going as deep into it as you possibly can, because it's only in feeling the depth of your pain that you can begin to transform and heal. I invite you to focus more intensely on the source of your pain, of the presence of the love that you miss, to bring it into your heart, to completely see whatever image, face that brings up into your mind as a reminder of the memory of your pain. And begin to say what is on your heart, either out loud if you can, or to write it out. Or just in your mind, let it go through to say whatever is coming out into this experience. But let all the feelings come crashing out, no matter how ugly, how raw, without hesitation, without judgment, without labeling whether they're appropriate. real, valid, correct, whatever you may call what comes out, let it come forth. To shout it out loud if you can, to scratch it onto paper, the intensity and the depth of it. Are you willing to go deep, to regurgitate all the feelings that are coming up as a result of acknowledging this pain? And now go even deeper. To feel the intensity not just in your body, but in your words and what you're writing, what you're thinking, all the feelings that you've held back and not allowed yourself to let out. Again, regurgitate it. Literally throw it up. This is not a pretty experience, but it's an empowering one, a healing one. Get as raw as you can go. To cry the ugly cry if you can. Know that you're in sacred space where you can be vulnerable. To feel the depth of everything that you've been carrying around within you. This is an act of love. Deep self-love is to go deep into the depth of all the pain, of the love that you miss. Continue to go as deep as you can, to let the waves wash through you and to capture the thoughts that come up. If there's anything within the depth of this pain that is offering you something that you hadn't noticed before, what is your pain offering you? To go deep into the places within yourself that maybe you haven't had the courage to go before, where your pain was hiding. And once you feel empty, truly empty, in this moment, allow yourself to beginning to shift your thoughts to treasured memories. The cherished experiences of the relationship that you mourn, and begin to live in those for a while, to give your heart a relief from the pain as you begin to feel the joy and the happiness and the value of those moments. To live in those cherished memories, the unconditional love they invoke. Perhaps love you haven't allowed yourself to tap into because of the pain that masked it. Bring those feelings into the focus of your mind with the intensity in your heart, the same intensity that you felt in your pain. Allow yourself to feel intensely the love that you hold for the soul that you miss, that you mourn. To feel all that love in your heart. to live in those memories as if they were happening right now, to relive them in the moment, to feel the joy. Allow yourself to smile and your heart to swell in these memories that will always live in your heart. They are always a part of you. So feel the joy as intensely as you felt the pain, as deeply as you can. And let the memories become a part of you that can never be forgotten or taken from you, forever ingrained within you. A deep and treasured gift that the soul that you shared this relationship with offers you now. So again, write or speak or just be present with each memory that comes up. Maybe some of them are stories that you were told because you were too young to know, but they're still cherished and they're part of you. So you cherish reliving them now. Keep smiling, feeling the love wash over you as a warm hug that's embracing you in this moment. And as you do, see the value of that person or circumstance in your life. Ask yourself, do the memories in my heart enhance who I am? Do they create an energy that supports and serves me, allows love into my heart? Would I trade them for anything? Can I see how my pain is simply a representation of the level I have loved deeply? Would I want to diminish the level of my love by never having experienced my cherished memories? These precious gifts always alive within me? Would I trade the pain away instead of having the memories that I cherish in my heart forever? Answer honestly. To know the truth. So let these questions begin to stir a new reality for you. Begin to see how the cherished memories offer you a legacy from what has been lost, from the one you love and who loved you, but is now transformed from the physical form of life. And yet they exist in your mind, in your heart, in a soul connection. So what is that legacy they offer you? The legacy is a gift your loved one or lost relationship or belonging is offering you. It may be unconditional love or acceptance or courage or compassion or a new aspect of who you are that you didn't recognize before. Maybe something that you admired about them that you would want to incorporate into how you live life now. something of value that you admired in that person and the way they lived life or the circumstance of your loss. Are you willing to accept it? Are you willing to both accept it and use it to enhance your life? To use it to honor the cherished memories and the love that you still hold deeply within you. Begin to see how you will integrate the legacy gift that is being revealed right now into your life. To live it in your mind, feel what it feels like in your heart. To make it a part of you in this moment, how will you express it in honor of the love that you mourn? Write down what you will do differently using this legacy gift. Capture what's being revealed in this moment. How will you use it to enhance or maybe change your life? You may need to take more time later on to write it out, to get more into the details that it maybe is offering you, to begin to make a plan, to create steps, to set goals, and note when you will begin each one. To have the courage to say yes to accepting the gift that's offered to you, to the legacy of the love that you hold dear in your heart. For it's important to make a commitment to integrating what you have discerned. And then take time to check in with it daily for a while. As you get comfortable integrating this legacy gift from the pain of loss and grief that have been keeping you from moving forward, and see how it is shifting your current moments as you embrace it more fully. Make this a part of who you are now, consciously, intentionally, proactively. You are becoming your enhanced self, a new normal. For you'll never be the person that you were. So are you willing to embrace the person you're becoming? Can you begin to sense gratitude for this gift? For what this experience of grief has truly offered you? And as you can, maybe it's another time, but come back to this place and what you've captured, what you wrote down, to sit with that and become aware of any other aspect that it's offering you, this gift of grief and the treasured memories and the legacies of the soul you love. And if you choose to accept or not, maybe it's something you set aside for later that you're not ready to embrace, to integrate. That's okay. For us, we have the power to choose when, how, why, or not, and always have. So as we come to completion of this time together, I invite you to give yourself a warm hug and congratulate yourself for a job very well done. For it is the beginning of your new and transformed self, enhanced by what grief has had to offer you. And again, I remind you to take more time to sit with this as you can. So taking in a deep breath now and letting it go, I invite you to open your eyes, to come back into this present moment, to feel the integration of your heart, your mind, and your body in this present moment. And if anyone has anything that you would like to share from this experience, I know that it's a very tender place to be in right now. But know that anything that you do feel that you want to share is helpful and healing to others, for having the courage to voice your experience. And again, I remind you, if you'd like to email me at unravelinggrief@gmail.com, I'm happy to share this recording and transcript with you so that you can use it to go into that deep place and perhaps discover even another aspect of what your grief is offering you. The revelation of the treasured memories that is really reminding you of how much you're loved. And how whenever you feel that grief triggered, that you can bring yourself to that place, take a deep breath, shift into that place of a treasured memory to feel the joy and the love that's reminding you of the depth of your own love and the preciousness of the relationships we have in life. To honor that moment. That's the gift. Next month, I think it's July 2nd, actually, that I'm scheduled to share. We're going to go more into the sense of gratitude that we can discover through our grief journey and how we can use that to enhance our life to thrive more deeply. So I look forward to more times to share with you, and again, to thank each of you for having the courage to join me today, to go into this very tender heart space, but to love yourself, that you've entered into a new stage of healing, which is an ongoing process truly in life. As I'm reminded this week in my own memories of loss. We all have a challenge in our life experience. It comes in different forms, in different ways, sometimes more intensely, but we can support each other and honor each other, to be listeners for each other, to be that healing presence, and to know that we're not alone in life's challenges. That each of you had made a difference to each other as we've shared this time. So as a coach and one who has walked this path of grief, I hope that this has helped you today. And please feel free to also share in an email to me, unravelinggrief@gmail.com, any thoughts, if this has been helpful, and any healing moments. I love to hear what your experience has been. I also have a website, www.unityawakeningways.org. It's my alternative ministry that has all the different resources and links to my book and things like that. So again, thank you for your time today. And I look forward to sharing you again with you on July 2nd. And thank you, Mia, for inviting me to be a part of this healing journey with all of your tribe. Have a wonderful rest of your day.